Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem.
So in this second introductory video, I want to talk about this. How do you get to be successful at mastery learning? So what do you need to do to really prepare yourself to learn? Well, instead of me telling you what to do and how to be successful, let's hear from some of last year's students.
My biggest advice for next year is to write down all your equations on a sheet of paper so you'll have them all in one spot, and to take your boss battles the first day because you'll probably have to take them a lot. And just remember to have fun because physics is a fun class.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited that you're taking physics this year. As a physics graduate, I would say that to be successful, you need to ask a lot of questions and get clarification and immediate help on what you're struggling with, because the content is sometimes very confusing. The second piece of advice that I have is to keep a notebook and just before a test, redo all the problems from the packets that Mr. Bergman gives you.
To take the class seriously and to stay on top of your work, because since flipped classroom is done at your own pace technically, it's still very easy to get behind, and it really stinks having to do everything last minute, so just don't procrastinate.
The one thing I'd tell physics students for next year is don't get behind on your videos. It's a pain if you miss one or don't do one of the worksheets, because you're going to get more every class, and it's a big pain in the butt to go back and do 2 times as much homework because you missed the video for last class.
Turn in all your work on time, because I've had a problem with not turning in my work on time, and you kind of get backed up after a while. So I just say just stay on top of your work, do everything beforehand so you can turn it in next class. Always be prepared for class. And basically just watch the videos, do your work. That's all you gotta know.
Always ask questions. Always ask Mr. Bergman questions, because it can be difficult, just whether it's like a formula or just something you don't get. I just always ask questions because Mr. Bergman's always willing to answer those questions and work through the problems with you. So I think that's helped me the most in physics class. And just don't be shy. Always be ready to ask.
So hopefully that helped you get some ideas of what the student perspectives are. And I want to sort of add to some of the things that they said. And I just want to use a couple of words here. It's going to require you to take some more ownership. You're going to have to take more initiative and say, because here's the deal, right? I'm going to give you a week. Every week, I'm going to say by the end of the week, you need to get to point X. You need to do this quest and this boss battle, or this, whatever, these kinds of ideas. You're going to have a week to get all this stuff done, right? And you need to figure out how you're going to do that. That means that you need to be, more intentional about your learning. And regardless of what our schedule will be, could vary this year a lot, I'm sure, you need to figure out, when am I going to do this? When am I going to do that? One thing that's super important, and you kind of heard this from the students, is if you are doing the pre-work, you must do the pre-work before the time we have it in class. This is such an important thing, that you do the pre-work. You must do the pre-work, as they all said. So I'm going to give you a benchmark. So let me go back to this. I'm going to give you a benchmark, and by the end of a particular week, you need to have gotten through assignment X, whatever that might be, and then you're going to get a grade for that. And speaking of grading, all right, so everyone wants to know, how do I get graded? Ultimately, it's just this, 50%, 50%. 50% based on how far you get each week, right? You have to get to such and such each week, and 50% on your, and I'm going to call them the boss battles. You might think the word tests. The boss battles plus projects. Now, sometimes the project will take the place of the boss battle. Sometimes it's in addition to. So it's just a simple 50-50 thing. Ultimately, guys, you're going to have some freedom. And I want to encourage you to use your freedom well to learn, because what's going to really make you better in life, right, and to make you the leader that we want you to be here at Houston Christian, is that you take charge of your own life. All right, ultimately, you need to submit, right, to the King of Kings. But as you learn how to sort of self-regulate and self-lead yourself, it's going to make you so much of a better person long-term, and to use that freedom to become the leader I know you can be. Houston, we don't have a problem. And again, I'm so excited to have you in class.